With the title, is this just a Bombadil?
I get it.
There are certain media offerings that transcend being merely bad and become ironically good. This somewhat happened with the Great Battle for the Southlands. I prior spoke to the lunacy with bringing down the fortified position that was the Elven Watchtower, to the questionable generalship of Bronwyn, and to the sheer schlock of the action sequences. While initially boring, this episode does deliver some moments of unintentional brilliance, noted too sporadic to commit meaningful time, but it's at least something. Beginning with episode 4, and just in case you fathomed a semblance of humility could and would come from Alicia, our namesake Galadriel, she appears to balk at the notion of subordinating herself to young Ned Stark's lead.
Trust me. Are you certain that is wise, Commander? At the High King's urging, I agreed to appoint you First Lieutenant.
But if you deem that duty beneath you, I will choose another. The diverse elven party encounter a destroyed bridge. Alicia peers out beyond and expresses her concern for the path chosen.
There is evil in those hills.
That mountain is evil.
Stop. Just stop doing it. You're going to drive me crazy.
The enemy is doubtless watching both roads. We go south. Commander, I must protest.
No! We must turn back! No!
This company will not take counsel from that trinket, nor will you. If you cannot abide by those terms, you will leave now and return to Linden.
Of course she won't. How else can she prove that she's correct and showcase how she alone knows best? Back with Bob, looking a bit sunburnt there, Bob. He encounters Tom Bombadil. Happy now, Lord of the Rings fans, that at one time might have felt gypped? Your wish has been granted. Bob loses the map before finding it stuck upon a branch. He tries to break the branch, but the tree comes alive, strangling and suffocating Bob. I have also seen this before, but where? With Nori, having sadly found Poppy, encounters this hedgehog.
Where'd you lot come from?
Asks Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. The fuck's going on? I can hear a song number looming.
I'm nobody.
Well, you can't be nobody.
Don't talk to it, Mary. Don't encourage it.
Is this what now passes for comedy? I mean, at least they are trying? I think they are trying. We then get 4 rules in referring to a meeting with a goond. What is a goond? Based on internet slang, gooning is masturbation that involves edging for a long period of time. Is this to become a nasty porn parody? Or gooned, to be awoken by 2 large men, escorted from your home to a wilderness program? I don't think I should be watching this. I don't think anyone should be watching this. Don't drop the soap. Black female hobbit or Harfoot. Well, why didn't you say so? They claim to be stores. A quick wiki search later, there's Harfoots, stores, fallow hides, and hobbits. But I can't tell the difference other than them proving consistently annoying and unlikable. The goond, this lady hobbit determines whether to cast Nori and Poppy out. Before doing so, she asks them to plead their case.
I have walked across rivers and mountains and deserts to help my friend find his destiny. One the fate of the world may depend on, yours included. I said one good reason.
Nori tries to explain.
He's not an elf, he's a wizard.
A wizard should know better.
Given the fear they possess for this dark wizard, and with mention of Bob, they believe Nori and Poppy servants of this presumed enemy. Back at Karis Gaia, my new favourite character laments his failures. Well, bugger. Be better?
I swear my life on it.
You are very foolish, Boba Fett, or very brave. Let the Harfoots be your sole concern. I will see to the Ishtar myself.
Next, Bombadil saves Bob. Referring to the tree, Old Man Ironwood,
I thought he might be able to lend me a branch.
Yes. Make sure to respect your pronouns. I've heard of those seeking to identify as many things. Cats, dogs, even...
A 2-spirit neutroid penguin.
Well, you're not a penguin, because use a bit of common sense.
Why? Who says I'm not?
This magic, can you teach it to me? Might you teach me how to wield a staff?
Oh, is there going to be a montage? Please let there be a montage.
We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage.
We then get the generic spiel over how Bob here will be the one to face Sauron and this new dark wizard.
You mean my hands? Is it my task to stop the fire? Is it my task to face Sauron?
If it isn't evident what the writers, a term I use loosely, are doing here, this should hopefully clarify.
The power of Isengard is at your command, Sauron, Lord of the Earth.
If you thought here's something original at last, you were mistaken.
Sorry.
It's also interesting how this adaptation, a term I now use loosely, can spend so much time focusing on nothing and then waste what time afforded on that which could be fun to then end up being, well, nothing. The troop under young Ned Stark's lead encounter the dead messengers sent for Celebrimbor. One of their company is consumed. I half expected this. Difficult to not also notice the progressive film company so vocal about diversity devolving back into the lazy 1968 horror trope where the black guy dies first.
It's just the black guy always dies.
Did the creators somehow miss the memo? Was the DEI officer replaced by a DIE officer because that black elf is dead? Whites then appear, and the company face the same problem as one would expect, attempting to tackle the undead. It didn't bode well for Sauron's army either, and if you can recall. We then shift to the search party for Theo.
Every minute we waste is another Theo is still out there.
Just forget the little bastard. Bronwyn's dead. Who will miss him? Isildur bonds with his future wife. Sorry, spoilers. Can you imagine Isildur telling his kids one day how he met their mother? It was like love at first sight, and then she stabbed me. Estrid is then interrogated by Arindia.
The wild men do it to hide the mark of Adar. She's one of them, and she's going to lead us to all the others.
Theo be in a tree.
What's out there?
Dunno yet, but whatever they are, they're big.
Steady on. Treebeard might take offence at that. I hear he's trying to lose weight. Arindia and Isildur are then sucked into the mud. Estrid is afforded the chance to flee, but she then seeks to assist. This worm thing is then eviscerated by Arindia.
There are nameless things in the deep places of this world. This one we call supper.
A joke. And from Arindia. Is this an evolution from his sock sponge persona, or will he quickly revert to type? Now Sadok Burrows is a legend.
He called it the Suzette. Struck out one year with a caravan of followers to find it. That was the last any of us heard of Rory Masbrowse.
Is this still a narrative based on Tolkien's compendium, or have we transitioned to the works of Roald Dahl or Dr. Seuss?
Snoswankers. Vermicious canids. What kind of rubbish is that?
I'm sorry, but all questions must be submitted in writing.
Riders sighted. Big folk coming this way.
The Goond is smacked across the face by my new favourite character. What is it with slapping and smacking women? What's this show trying to say, or are the creators great fans of this new sport? Not my cup of tea, but to each their own. With the search company, Isildur removes Estrid's manacles, and she promptly betrays him. Estrid, drop the sword. She doesn't, and she is thwacked into next week. Do I need to start a counter? An Entwife named Winterbloom then assaults Arindia as he'd attacked a tree in Season 1. It is here, and if you don't bother watching this episode from start to finish, I can't blame you, we receive here some great hilarity. With the melodramatic voice acting, horrific dialogue, disemboweling and uprooting, branch breakers and trunk splitters all, and cringe-worthy visual effects, it had me laughing. It's beyond awful. Reminds me of Troll 2 and the like.
Winterbloom nourished many of those trees from seed and sprout.
Arindia speaks Elvish, and the Ent smiles, extends a branch. Before Estrid and Isildur can kiss, her fiancé surfaces. Just a guess, but he's on borrowed time. There's the roaring of orcs and the echoing of war drums. One of young Ned Stark's company is struck by a stray arrow, but the ring heals of his wound.
Get to Linden. I will occupy them as long as I'm able. Take it.
While I wouldn't say the action sequence that follows is great, no matter how much they try, it's a difficult ask to present Morfydd Clark as this action heroine. Still, they do appear to have reflected upon Season 1 and made some improvement. However, and from my perspective, this is somewhat disappointing. More of what we got in Season 1 would fit well with the schlock of this awkward episode.
These are elven lands. Go back to the shadow.
Go back to the shadow!
She then is captured by Adar. No, this isn't a good episode. When the writers intend to introduce some wit and humour, it falls flat. Unless we're talking about the humour that comes from being so bad that it then ironically becomes good.